Well, welcome along to the first of the quarterfinals of the AFC Champions League Elite in Jeddah. And it pits together two powerhouses from the west and the east, Qatar's Al Sadd and Japan's Vissel Kobe. They have had contrasting routes to this last eight stage. Al Sadd only squeaked through the league phase in 8th position on goal difference from Sharjah in the western region. And few perhaps would have expected them to come through against Al Hilal in the round of 16. But they got the job done on penalties after a pulsating 3-3 draw. Vissel Kobe breezed through in the east, finishing second behind compatriots Jeddah Zelvia in the league stage, before seeing off FC Seoul 3-1 on aggregate in the last 16. Warm temperatures in Jeddah, 30 degrees at kick-off time. And Al Sadd, of course, twice former winners of Asia's top club competition, once in its former guise of the Asian Club Championship in 1989, and once in the modern version in 2011. This is Vissel Kobe, who flew in by charter jet on Tuesday to acclimatise. Their last game was on Saturday against Nagoya Grampus, which they won by 3-2 to maintain their lead at the top of the truncated interim J-League season, as Japan, of course, switches to a rather different football calendar. Vissel Kobe looking to reach the last four for just the second time after they got there in 2020. And this is their first ever meeting against a team from the western region of Asia. The big question for Roberto Mancini's Al Sadd is whether they've had enough time to recover from that grueling encounter against the four-time champion Al Hilal just 3 days ago. 120 minutes plus penalties, and Mancini didn't make a single substitution in that match. Defender Roman Saiz saying that their recovery has mainly consisted of sleep and rehydration. City of Jeddah, of course, hosting all these finals matches, which included the one-off round of 16 ties, which perhaps puts the teams from the eastern region at a slight advantage. And Vissel Kobe, the only one of the four from the east to have reached the semi-finals before. Vissel Kobe got a bit of a mixed record in knockout football in Asia. They've played 6 times, won 3, lost 3. In good form domestically, though, with 4 straight wins. There's the unmistakable figure of Akram Afif, who fans in the continent will remember scoring a hat-trick against Jordan in the Asian Cup final for his national team at the start of 2024. He wears the captain's armband. Al Sadd had a good day 3 days ago, not only defeating Al Hilal, but they were crowned champions of Qatar on the same night, thanks to Al Shamal's slip-up domestically. It's their 3rd domestic crown in a row, their 19th Qatari Stars League championship, all told. Al Sadd facing Japanese opposition for just the 2nd time. You might remember last season they lost to Kawasaki Frontale in the quarterfinals by 3-2, a match that went all the way to extra time. I'm sure they're hoping that the job will be completed in 90 minutes today, given they have already played 1 lot of extra time here in Jeddah. As for Vissel Kobe, one of 2 J-League outfits in the last 8, Jeddah Zelvia taking on Al Ittihad of Saudi Arabia tomorrow. Japanese clubs with a great record in this competition. J-League outfits have contested 6 of the last 7 finals. We're a bit of a way off the final as yet, though, in Jeddah. This is the first quarter-final, with a matchup against Al Ahly or Johor to come in the semi-finals on Monday It is Al Sadd against Vissel Kobe. Vissel Kobe walking out in a rather natty shade of purple. Akram Afif might be thinking he's on the wrong team. Very reminiscent of the Qatar national strip, but it's Japanese outfitter will play in those colours tonight. Al Sadd in the all-white. The official AFC Champions League elite anthem, which has become a feature of the pre-game rituals as the teams conduct the official handshakes, or high fives as they tend to be these days. We can check on how the two teams line up here this evening in front of a rather sparse crowd. Of course, had Al Hilal qualified, it might have been a little bit different. They would have essentially been on home turf. There's the two coaches, Roberto Mancini of Al Sadd and Mikhail Skiba of Vissel Kobe. Al Sadd go with the same 11 that played those 120 minutes plus spot kicks against Al Hilal. It's a team laden with stars. Ex-Liverpool striker Roberto Firmino, the biggest name at Qatar's Asian Cup final. Hat-trick hero from 2 years ago, Akram Afif, not far behind. Rafa Moyika is the competition's joint top scorer with 6, which have all come in his last 4 matches. Veteran defender Boulam Kouki plays his 250th game for the club. He is one of 4 Qatari internationals in the Al Sadd starting 11. Two skippers, Akram Afif of Al Sadd and Tetsushi Yamakawa of Vissel Kobe. Our match referee today, Omar Al-Ali from the United Arab Emirates, the 38-year-old from Sharjah. He'll be at the FIFA World Cup in a couple of months' time. And in VAR, Mohammed Obaid Kadim of the Emirates and Noor Safarov Firdaus of Uzbekistan. Now, Vissel Kobe had big doubts over goalkeeper Daya Maikawa and Brazilian defender Mateus Tula, who collided with each other near the end of the game against Nagoya at the weekend and were unable to continue. But both stars, along with midfielder Takehiro Ogihara, who came off with a knee injury in the same game after just 34 minutes. Veterans Yuya Osako and Yoshinori Muto both returned to offer experience in attack. Muto has only just returned to fitness after having undergone ankle surgery. And a familiar name on the bench for Vissel Kobe as well, 37-year-old Takashi Inui, who you might remember scoring for Japan against Belgium at the 2018 World Cup. Big name on the Al Sadd bench as well, Qatar's all-time record appearance holder Hassan Al Haydos, capped 187 times by Al Anabi. Maikawa wearing the protective headgear because of that injury sustained in the 3-2 win over Nagoya in the J-League at the weekend. Perhaps a surprise that he starts, and we'll have to see how he holds up, as well as his teammate Matthias Tula. So Vissel Kobe in the purple strip get us underway. The first quarter-final of the Champions League Elite in Asia for 25-26. The prize, a semi-final matchup with either the reigning champions Al Ahly of Saudi Arabia or Malaysia's Johor. This is the first time that Vissel Kobe have ever faced opposition from the west of the region. So a new test. There is Roberto Mancini, 61-year-old Italian who took over mid-season at Al Sadd from Laurent Blanc and who's got plenty of big game experience, of course. Goalkeeper coming out to punch. Almost a bit of a mix-up there with the defender. Al Sadd sort things out through Pedro. He slipped it through to midfield and Claudinho, but one back high up the park by Yosuke Ideguchi for Vissel Kobe. Looking to start on the front foot and take advantage of any lethargy in those tired legs of Al Sadd, who are looking to spring forward down the left-hand side. Only one player in the box, that was Rafa Mujica. Here's Firmino, and it does fall for Mujica, who shot on the turn but somewhat slipped at the point of contact. Talking of slips, cheap giveaway by Daiju Sasaki of Vissel Kobe. Al Sadd promptly returned the compliment through Pedro. A few nerves and errant touches early on. Ball breaks here for Akram Afif. Rolls it forward for Roberto Firmino, who will fire in the first shot of the game, and it's pushed away by Maikawa. No question of the quality, of course, of Roberto Firmino, Champions League winner last season with his former club Al Ahly, and Champions League winner in Europe with Liverpool back in 2019. Certainly a player that Vissel Kobe will have to try and keep tabs on here in Jeddah this evening. Clipped forward by Ogihara. Barsham had come a long way, and again, slight miscommunication in the Al Sadd defensive ranks. There is Mikhail Skibber, a 60-year-old German who took over at Kobe in December last year after 3 years with Sanfrecce Hiroshima, during which time he was voted J-League Coach of the Year not once but twice, after winning 2 trophies, 2 J-League Cups. Now looking to lead Vissel Kobe to glory on the regional stage. Another errant pass from Pedro, and given away by Ogihara in turn. Ball's like a hot potato at the moment. Steadied down for Vissel Kobe. This is Sasaki. Yoshinori Muto. Felt it was worth a try from the edge of the box, but no problems for the Qatari #1, Meshal Barsham. 57 caps for his country. Here's the chance at the other end for Firmino, who did manage to get his effort on target. Save that Maikawa would expect to make. Roberto Mancini, who won the European Championships with Italy in 2020. Before that, of course, he famously won the English Premier League title and FA Cup with Manchester City. His spell with the Saudi Arabian national team, a little less productive. sure he's too fondly remembered in these parts. Rather ignominious AFC Asian Cup exit a couple of years ago. Spelled the end of his tenure. Here's Yuta Goke. Back with Vissel Kobe for second spell after 4 years with Vegalta Sendai. Throw-in launched into the box and not away yet. I think that was intended as a shot. It's worked out all right here for Sasaki. Okihara. Swept away rather scruffily initially by Saiz. Back will come Vissel Kobe once again. This is Sakai. Poor ball by the veteran Japanese defender. Claudinho sweeps it out towards Akram Afif on the left-hand side. Now Firmino. Lovely back heel. Here's Akram Afif. Big chance here brewing for Al Sadd. It's Muyika! It's 1-0! Rafa Muyika with his 7th goal in this year's AFC Champions League elite competition. He's now the tournament's outright top scorer. And it was a clinical finish to put the team from Qatar 1-0 up, maybe slightly against the run of play. And a move, really, that was all started by a lovely back heel from Bobby Firmino inside his own half. And Al Sadd sprung forward very quickly indeed. Afif's pass, finding Rafa Muyika, and the Spaniard did the rest. Look at this. Lovely back heel. Claudinho plays it forward. Akram Afif with the awareness. And what about that for a finish from Muyika? Seven goals in 5 AFC Champions League elite matches. Maikawa couldn't get anywhere near it. And Al Sadd, who had to come from behind on 3 occasions in the round of 16 against Al Hilal, strike first this time in the quarter-final. Big test now for Vissel Kobe. Relatively inexperienced at this stage of the competition. Just one previous quarter-final in 2020, which they did win. Ball lifted into the box by Katsuya Nagato. Sakai with the left-footed cross. Easily steered away. It's a foul by Pedro. Oh, penny for the thoughts of Mikhail Skibber, whose team, you sense, were just starting to get on top. Roberto Mancini's outfit have pounced on the counter. And when you have strikers of the quality of Muyika, they can make all the difference at this level. Here's Nagato with the free kick, which is somewhat wasted, or is it? Heavy touch by Claudinho, back with Nagato. Into the box for Osako, and the shot into the side netting from Yosuke Ideguchi. That's better, says Mikhail Skibber. Little layoff from Osako. And Ideguchi, who scored some important goals during his distinguished career, including one in the home leg against FC Seoul in the round of 16. Not quite able to hit the target on that occasion. That pass just a little beyond Akram Afif. Sako. Now with Goke. Sako again. Ideguchi was available, he was ignored. Eventually he is brought into play, swept out wide left for Nagato. Brought down by Claudinho. Immediately setting Akram Afif away, and he will track that one down. Here's Firmino herring into the box, but Tula was there ahead of him. Claudinho can have a go here. And it did take a touch off Goke, so it will be a corner as we pass the 10-minute mark. Al-Sadd fans in fine voice. A little bit quieter in the Vissel Kobe section. Afif sending out the signal to his teammates. Now they arrive. Just hit Saiz. And they get another go from the opposite side. Long walk for Akram Afif. It's Roberto Firmino, 34 years of age now. 8 goals in 20 Champions League elite appearances. Corner works short to the top of the box. Claudinho's route to the penalty area is blocked by Nagato. Nice and inventive, and then a little stumble at the crucial moment by Mujinka. There's Tula with plenty to say, looking to lift his teammates. He was taken to hospital, by the way, after that clash with his goalkeeper at the weekend. It was a huge doubt for today. Somehow they've managed to get him ready. So third corner in a row. Afif back from the near side and headed well wide in the end by Roman Saiz. Steered back by Tula. Wide by Maikawa for his captain, Yamakawa. He threads the needle nicely for Osako. Was very nonchalant by Borlam Koki. Mainstay the Al-Sadd defence for well over a decade. Same story for the national team. 250th match in Al-Sadd colours this evening. Also a national hero, you might remember, after scoring in that World Cup playoff against the United Arab Emirates, which sent Qatar through to the FIFA World Cup in North America. Throw in for Vissel Kobe, which will be taken by Gotoku Sakai. Kept alive by Muto. Sakai shaping for the long throw towards Sako at the near post, and on the volley was Ideguchi. But Barsham had a clear view of it. Routine save in the end. Good distribution for the keeper as well to find Pedro. And a foul by Ideguchi. Agustin Soria, the victim, the young Uruguayan winger who arrived from Defensor Sporting. Nagato. Sasaki driven back by the presence of Pedro. Kawa having to get rid in a hurry. Off the head of Paulo Otavio. Charged down here by the same player, looking for a teammate in the middle. And it very nearly sat nicely for Roberto Firmino. A look on his face suggests that his first touch being cleaner, the second would have resulted in a 2-0 scoreline. Given his quality, who are we to argue? Sakai. Sliding challenge by big Moroccan, Roman Saiz. Spent quite a few years with Wolves in the English Premiership. Foul on Mo Kamara. Muto, he feels it should have been the other way. Claudinho. Lovely pass by the Brazilian. Akram Afif. Cutting inside, Mo Kamara. Well, the least said about the finish, the better. He's never scored for Al Sadd. This is his 58th match for the club. He had a clear view of goal there, but just slightly leaning back. Here's that half chance for Roberto Firmino. Perhaps wasn't quite expecting the ball to come through to him. Nagato, bit of room here. The fullback puts an attempting cross. Here's Muto, looking for Sarko at the back post. Thumb clear by Pedro. Chases on for Mojica. Sakai there ahead of him. Nagato beautifully curled into the box, well held up by Asako. Sasaki can't make progress, and then it wouldn't stick for Asako. Here he is again. Ideguchi has to settle for a corner off Pedro. Looked promising for a moment for Vissel Kobe. Katsuya Nagato to deliver this corner kick. And swing it towards the near post, and it's into the side netting. Well, Sasaki wants another corner. I have to say, at first glance, I thought he had a case there, but the referee, of course, much better position than me. Did look as though it might have flicked off Firmino. Perhaps a little let-off for Roberto Mancini's team. Leading as they do, thanks to Rafa Mojica's goal on 6 minutes. This is Bourlam Kuki. Out in the air by Soria. Outside of the boot from Firmino for Akram Afif. Claudinho. Back through Mo Camara. Roman Saiz. Oh, it's a lovely touch by Afif. And he's in position for the return as well. And all really Vissel Kobe could do was help it behind, courtesy of Ogehara, for another Al Sadd corner. Akram Afif showing it's not only Firmino with the tricks and flicks. '29 now, Akram Afif scored the winning penalty in the shootout against Al Hilal a few days ago. That cross not his best of the season. Chested down by Pedro. Looking to go around the outsides. Tula claiming a goal kick. And he wins the argument over Pedro. Let's call that Brazil 1, Portugal 0. Although Pedro is Qatar international. He was born in Portugal. Nagato went first time, good idea, Sasaki. Oh, it's a tame finish in the end, and again perhaps a little bit of miscommunication between Saiz and his goalkeeper Meshal Barsham. Vissel Kobe will have the corner. They will feel it might, it certainly could have been a whole lot more. A couple of years ago, Vissel Kobe were the corner kings. They've scored 15 goals from corners in their championship winning year, 2024. They're not going to score from that one. All the way back through to Maikawa. This is Ogihara. Tejas Tula. Yamakawa getting Sakai moving forward. 3:24 in the middle. Oh, it's 1-1. It's a brilliant header from Yuya Osako. An excellent cross from Gotoku Sakai. And the veteran striker stooped to conquer with a little bit of help off the woodwork and the goalkeeper, and it's 1-1. Well, that's what he was brought back to provide. The marking was a little slack from Al Sadd. Sakai had time to pick out his man. It's a really good header. And in off the woodwork. And a touch off Meshal Barsham as well. All square in Jeddah. Yuya Osako's third goal of this AFC Champions League elite campaign. And Al Sadd, after having taken the lead, are pegged back by the two-time J-League champion. Sent long by Maikawa. Sasaki waiting for any mistake, which didn't arrive, but it has now, and Osaka there again. Didn't really catch hold of that one. Mikhail Skibba delighted with his team's response. In fairness, it was the touch off Kuki which took all the sting out of that effort from Osako. Meantime, at the other end, there are appeals for a penalty here. Soria perhaps looking as though he's brought down, or rather Moyika inside the box. Well, there was certainly a tangle of arms outside. It did then continue somewhat into the penalty area. Yamakawa gets away with that one. Here's Claudinho, big chance for Al Sadd to retake the lead. But they spurn the opportunity. Lovely turn and release by Firmino again. Claudinho off target. Knows he perhaps could have done a bit better with that one, the Brazilian. Oh, what an action-packed opening 26 minutes we have had in Jeddah. 2 goals and plenty of talking points besides. Here's Ideguchi for Vissel Kobe. Look at the space on the right-hand side, but it needed to be a better pass to release Gotoku Sakai. Ideguchi acknowledging his error. A little bit more subdued now, those Al Sadd supporters. Claudinho, Camara. Camara once again, a man from Mali who was part of the African Cup of Nations squad back at the turn of the year for his country. Sent over the top by Claudinho, off the head of Afif. Steadied down by Tula for Vissel Kobe. Nagato. Sasaki holding off the attentions of Petro. Ferried all the way back by Ideguchi. Yamakawa. Muto has got the better of his man, at least initially. Good recovery by Paolo Ottavio. Great use of the body initially. Muto claiming that he got a little nudge in the back there from his opponent. Not enough for the linesman's flag to be raised. They had the best view of all. Yamakawa. Sakai. Square for Tula. Change of the point of the attack through Nagato. Sasaki setting off on a run. Sako going more centrally for Goke. Given away rather carelessly. Claudinho trying to steer it in behind Sakai, who was wise to that particular manoeuvre. Sasaki. space here for Vissel Kobe. Nagato. Time to try and pick out a man in the middle, and he found Mo Kamara. Start again through Osako. All just squirming away from the veteran striker. 35 now, Yuya Osako. And 7 years in Germany, of course, with the likes of FC Köln and Werder Bremen, 1860 Munich. Now very much at the back end of his career, which also saw him win 57 caps for Japan, but still oh so important for Vissel Kobe, as proved with that equalising goal. Sasaki. Tula. Nagato. Sasaki once again. Looking to hit the byline and find room for the cross. Pedro wasn't going to allow that. And it's a goal kick. Actually made contact with the ball there, Pedro. Forward by Kuki. Foul's gone Firmino's way. Again, I'm not 100% sure what Katsuya Nagato did wrong there, but the referee's decision is final. Saiz. Strange touch that. Vissel Kobe fans encouraged by the equaliser. If Roberto Mancini is going to make any substitutions tonight. He didn't 3 days ago. Might have to as the game wears on this evening. Katsuya Nagato with the throw. Allow it to bounce. Al-Sad, which could have been dangerous. Managed to smuggle the ball away. Claudinho says to Akram Afif, there you go, have a run. Instead, he tees up Rafa Mujica. Similar sort of position from where he scored. Here's Roberto Firmino. Trying to curl it into that top corner. Didn't quite get the required bend. Akram Afif, again with the perfect release. Maybe the first touch of Mujica just wasn't the best, and took him a bit wider than he wanted. And then Firmino with the shot off target in the end. Osako. Muto leaving it for Sakai. Here's Ogihara. Cross deflected, and that might favour the Japanese outfit. Surely they must score. How has Goke put that one over the crossbar? Osako with the initial chance. And then Goku arriving off the crossbar. And really, he's got to score from there. Osako's header leaning backwards, just glanced off the frame of the goal. And then Goke with what seemed like a tap-in. In fairness, the ball didn't really sit for him, and he's struck the crossbar again. A lucky let-off for Roberto Mancini's team. And again, that all came about because too much room was afforded to Vissel Kobe down that right-hand side. That's exactly how Vissel Kobe were able to construct the equaliser. Ogihara going down the left for Sasaki, Ideguchi, Nagato, Sasaki once more, Ideguchi, Nagato. It's a tempting delivery. Osako, Sakai, all hands on deck for Al-Sadd. Now they'll look to spring forward on the counter, but Claudinho's delayed too long. And now Soria, in a spot of bother, managed to dig himself out of it. At times, the Al-Sadd defence has looked just a little threadbare. They are also missing the defensive midfield skills of Guillaume. Another one of their Brazilian-born players, but one who represents Qatar. He's out with a hamstring injury at the moment, had surgery after sustaining the injury against Al Rayyan earlier this month. It just affords them that little bit of extra protection defensively, which is not required on this occasion. The cross was deflected, which did favour Osako. Denied by the crossbar, and then Goke really. However well Barsham did, he's got to back himself to score from there. Goke is a very famous number for Vissel Kobe, number 5. It's worn by Ataru Yamaguchi, big fan favourite at Vissel Kobe. Oh, there was so much room there for Akram Afif. Holds out his arms in disgust, saying, just dink it over the top for me. Easier said than done, of course. Sakai's throw, brought down by Claudinho. Squared up for Soria. From Afif, caught on his heels. Just to turn and check. Saiz has got away from Mohamed Kamara. Sasaki. Muto. Easily shrugged off the ball initially by Paulo Otavio. Back with Sakai. Tula. Nagato. Yamakawa. Sakai with a bit of time to consider the options. Vissel Kobe, who are beaten in the round of 16 last season in the AFC Champions League Elites. 3-2 on aggregate by Gwangju FC of the Korean Republic. It's Muto, no offside flag. Goke. Ideguchi working the combinations nicely. Goke got away from him. Poor clearance though by Kamara. 5 minutes to go before the break. Osako. And protected behind by experienced Roman Saiz. There's that chance, which ended in a goal for Rafa Mujika to put Al Sadd 1-0 up after just 6 minutes, his 7th goal in this year's tournament. And here's the response from Yuya Osako, despite Meshal Barsham's despairing dive and the touch off the woodwork. I dare say there's a new baby on the way in the Muto, or rather the Osako family. It's a chance for Al Sadd. That one blocked by Yamakawa. Mujika to set it up once again. Akram Afif, Kamara, Augustin Soria, and he blazes well over the top of the goal. Well, Mujika was such a willing runner. It's a good block that by Tetsushi Yamakawa. When they set it up once again, Soria couldn't keep his head down. Hasn't scored for Al Sadd since a goal in the League Cup competition in Qatar against Al Qadatiya back in December. That effort's never really looked likely to end that barren run. Couple of minutes to go before the break. It's been a pretty open and fairly enterprising first half from both teams. Again, the question remains, the deeper we go into this match, do the legs of Al Sadd begin to tire on the back of 120 minutes just 3 days ago? I'll be all right at the moment. Kamara. Flicked by Claudinho. This is Paulo Otavio. So he's spotted a little opening there. Left wide for Pedro. Square for Kamara. Saiz looking for that run of Firmino into the box. Claim by Maikawa. Tula having to get rid of the ball quickly. The bounce could prove problematic for Saiz. Helped out by Paulo Otavio. Vissel Kobe back on the attack. Ideguchi wanted the foul. The referee told him to get up. Instead it's Al Sadd on the attack, but that one sorted out by Yamakawa. Tula with Mujika in hot pursuit. And now the whistle does go in favour of Vissel Kobe. cutting across the defender's path. There's Tula, who's used to continental success. There's the earlier challenge, which brought down Ideguchi. It did appear as though there was a bit of contact, but no whistle for that one. Tula won the Copa Libertadores in 2019. During his days with Flamengo, was an unused substitute in the final against River Plate. Looking for more continental success with Vissel Kobe. Into just one additional minute at the end of the opening 45. Carl Skibber checking his watch to make sure he concurs. Sent long by Sais. Turn with interest off the head of Yamakawa. Well, the end of a first half that has been full of guile from both teams, and you can add to that plenty of style in terms of the two goals. Rafa Mujica putting Al Sadd in front after 6 minutes from Akram Afif's assist, and then on 24 minutes Yuya Osaka with a clinical reply from Batoku Sakai's cross. There could have been more goals besides. There might well be in the second half, but at the break it's all square. It's Al Sadd 1, Vissel Kobe 1.
Thank you very much, football fans. You'll be leaving the stadium on first half. Vissel here in Jeddah, and we are almost there. Get ready for the second. كل الشكر للجماهير الحاضرة في هذه المباراة، جماهير فيصل كوبيه، أولا جماهير نادي الزد اللي هيشدوا معاهم أيها الأحباب، يلا مع بعض.
Well, the players returning to the pitch, all square at the break between Al Sadd and Vissel Kobe. Akram Afif had a big say early on, teeing up the opening goal for Rafa Mojika. At the other end, Vissel Kobe getting back square thanks to Yuya Osako, and then hitting the crossbar twice in the same move. They perhaps feel they should be in front. We've seen Al Sadd's power of recovery once in Jeddah. We're about to find out their durability. And Roberto Mancini, for the first time in Jeddah, is going to make a substitution. Made quite a few headlines. The game against Al Hilal went 120 minutes without making a change, but he has done at the start of the second half here tonight. Tarek Salman, the replacement for Pedro. See if he plays at right back where he can play, or whether Buildup shifts across. Al Akli or Johor waiting for one of these two in the last four in the semi-finals on Monday. Are we going to go to extra time and maybe even penalties again? Al Sadd will be hoping not. Energy sapping conditions, 30 degrees at kickoff. Maybe just a tad cooler now as Al Sadd get the second half underway, kicking from right to left on your screens in this second stanza. Doesn't appear that Mikhail Skibber's made any changes to the Vissel Kobe 11. There's confirmation of that change for Al Sadd. Tarek Salman, nearing a century of international appearances for Qatar. Very experienced replacement for Pedro, and there he is with his very first involvement right from the off, winning a free kick for his team. Cookie waved away by the Al Sadd goalkeeper, Michel Barsham, who incidentally is the brother of Moatez Barsham, who won Olympic gold in the high jump for Qatar at the Tokyo Olympics. Is clearing left-footed upfield, but too high for Akram Afif. Too difficult to control for Sako. Breaks here for Tarek Salman, who's happy to accept the throw. Two coaches in pensive mood. Roberto Mancini saying in the build-up this, if anything, would be even tougher than the match against Al Hilal. Maybe a bit of psychology on his part, but there's no doubt that teams from the East and West don't play each other very often. Contrasting styles. Ideguchi's attempted clearance has broken kindly here for Mojika. Courtesy of a ricochet. Tarek Salman had bombed forward down the right-hand side, but was completely ignored. Instead, Mo Kamara punches it back through Roman Saiz. And this is Akram Afif, the Al Sadd captain. Ball slightly behind Paulo Otavio. And his was the final touch. Goal kick for Vissel Kobe. The other thing to make mention of is this truncated season in Japan that Vissel Kobe are playing. It's labelled the Japan 100-year Vision league, split into East and West conferences to navigate the changing calendar for the J-League. Come back to that in a minute. This is Yoshinori Muto, spreading it out wide left for Deju Sasaki, across by Nagato. Back post is Asako. And there were three waiting for the cross. Steered away by Tarek Salman for now. There's Sasaki again. Nagato used as the decoy. Back through Ideguchi. Ogihara. And a throw in for Vissel Kobe. Just back to that truncated J-League campaign. If games end in stalemates, they go straight to penalties. Just for this short season only. That does give the J-League outfits vital practice in high-pressure situations of taking those spot kicks. Well, having said that, Vissel Kobe have been involved in 3 and only won 1 of them. Here's Ideguchi, and it took a deflection, and that really could have gone anywhere. First shot in anger in the second half goes the way of Mikael Skubber's team. Michel Barsham, grateful to Bulem Kuki. It's going to be the in-swinging corner from Katsuya Nagato to a backdrop of noisy Vissel Kobe supporters. Everybody looking to make their move. Back post it goes for the captain and headed over by Asako from close range. He beat the goalkeeper to the ball after the captain, Yamakawa, had won the initial header at the back post. The goalkeeper really was in no man's land. But Asako could not send his header goalwards. Another good chance goes begging for Vissel Kobe. Size to go short from the goal kick. Barsham has to get the feet sorted out quickly and can only pick out Sakai. Sent wide by Ideguchi for Nagato. Bit of space here for Goke. The cutback cut out by Paulo Otavio for the time being. Come the J-League outfit. Here's Sasaki, but well defended by Surya. And now the flag comes to the rescue of Al Sadd. Sasaki just straying the wrong side of the defensive line. Warm night in Jeddah. I think that would favour Vissel Kobe, given the exertions of Al Sadd, but of course, Japanese outfit have had a 16-hour flight to get here as well. They arrived on Tuesday via a chartered flight. Roberto Mancini muttering a few choice words in Italian. I was going to say under his breath, but really it was very much out loud. Claudinho dug that out well and quickly, which was key. Akram Afif. Paulo Otavio has gone beyond. Akram Afif can't find him. Yamakawa. Sakai. All kept alive by Muto. Nobody in the penalty area. At least not within range for Vissel Kobe. They'll go again through Ogihara. Muto. Sakai getting involved as well. Here's Gotoku Sakai. Managed to keep that ball in play, not quite. Sakai had made the run in behind, but the ball had clearly gone over the line. Al-Sadd fans taking a breather. Largely dressed in the white of their club. Well, that's a loose pass, and it needed that intervention from Mo Kamara. Al-Sadd just a little sloppy. Maybe that tiredness we spoke about starting to creep in. We shall see. That was pretty slick. Here's Paulo Otavio. Good release too for Tarek Salman, the second half substitute for Pedro. Akram Afif popping up in a more central position. Soria. Salman. Kamara. Cookie. And Saiz. Kamara being pressed by Yosuke Ideguchi. Had no other option really but to go back to his goalkeeper. Carl Skipper has options on the bench. Not least the player that I mentioned at the start, even though he's 37 years old now, Takeshi Inui. Plenty of top-flight European experience in those legs. Signed on a free transfer from Shimizu S-Pulse at the start of that short J-League season. Soria. Claudinho's touch. Roman Saiz. Claudinho. Looking for the diagonal ball for Tarek Salman. Claudinho. Paulo Otavio. Turned back by Soria. Now they open up a bit of space via the boot of Roberto Firmino, who will let fly here. Pretty tame effort in the end. Easy pickings for Maikawa. Poor return for Al-Sadd at the end of a long sequence of passes. Yamakawa. Sakai. He's looking for that little ball infield for Ideguchi, but he was well shackled now. They release Muto on the right. And his centre looking for his experienced teammate Yuya Osako. Was cut out by Barsham. Firmino. Looked like a handball by Yamakawa. Referee Omar Al-Ali right on the spot. There's that opportunity at the other end some moments ago. Just needed better quality off the foot of Yoshinori Muto. He Was a J-League Player of the Year just 2 years ago. Just back after a month out with an ankle problem. Sad looking to catch Vissel Kobe unawares from the free kick. Well defended by Ogihara. Here's Akram Afif. Ulam Kuki into the box, and it was inventive, but not effective from Roman Saiz. That's a foul on Goke. Ideguchi. He had played almost an hour in Jeddah. Nagato. Sarko slightly behind Muto. Attackers arriving off the head of Paulo Otavio. Ideguchi couldn't control it. Firmino sends it long, and now the chase is on. It's won by Mateus Tula for Vissel Kobe. Head of Mujika. Soria. Nicely floated out towards Akram Afif. Well, that was the right idea to reward that run of Paulo Otavio. Firmino into space, and what a finish! A little look to see if the flag was raised. It's Rafa Mujika again with his 8th goal in this year's tournament. And Al Sadd lead for the 2nd time in this game. A delightful assist from Firmino. And Mujika, as he's done so often in this tournament this season, did the rest. 2-1 Al Sadd. Well, so easy. They could have made a cup of tea while doing it. And he is so clinical inside the penalty area. There is a little shout for offside here by Vissel Kobe. No doubting about the quality off the chest of Firmino or the finish from Mujika. Absolutely brilliant. But is VAR going to get involved and rule this one out? We shall see. For now, it's 2-1. No reaction from Roberto Mancini. Are those celebrations about to be cut short, though? Well, he is the man of the moment. 8 goals, all of which have come in the last 5 appearances for Rafa Mujika. The goal stands, so there's to be no reprieve for Vissel Kobe. And they've got it all to do again. They've come from behind once. Can they do it again? Given the miles in the legs of Al Sadd's players, this is the position they will have dreamed of being in at kickoff. Something to defend now into the final half an hour in Jeddah. And the onus very much on the J-League side. And Al Sadd do have the quality in transition to hurt them. Had to come from behind on 3 occasions against Al Hilal in the round of 16. In this match, now been in front twice. Is that enough? Here's Muto. He'll be ruining the fact that a few minutes before that second Al Sadd goal, he was in a really good position but didn't quite manage to find the right delivery for a teammate into the penalty area. Yamakawa, Ogihara. Vissel Kobe have only lost twice in this year's Champions League Elite. Both away matches, both to Korean opponents. 4-3 to Gangwon, and that's the 1-0 to Johor, who of course are from Malaysia. My apologies. They've got it all to do to turn this one around. Nagato. Cut back, cut out by Mo Kamara for Al Sadd. Turned back by the goal scorer, Muyinka. Off the head of Yamakawa. Claudinho to try and settle things down for Al Sadd. Akram Afif. Ball over the top, Muyinka on a hat-trick. And he's got Firmino square. Here is Robert Firmino! It's 3-1 for Al Sadd. And it's a mountain to climb now for Vissel Kobe. 4 minutes after Firmino provided for Muyinka, he returns the compliments. And Al Sadd have 1 foot in the semi-finals of this year's AFC Champions League Elite. And it's thanks to their biggest name, Roberto Firmino. Well, I did say that they had the quality to hurt Vissel Kobe in transition. It was Akram Afif's ball over the top. Muyinka with great awareness to pick out Firmino. And the former Liverpool striker was never going to miss from that sort of range. It's his 9th goal in 21 AFC Champions League Elite matches. After winning the title with Al Ahly last season, he's looking to go back-to-back now with Al Sadd. And even Roberto Mancini affords himself a little punch in the air. Maybe now the job is 3/4 done. Looks like a double change for Vissel Kobe. Daiju Sasaki and Yuta Goke have been withdrawn. We'll update you on the arrivals in a moment. There we go, Jean-Patrick is one of the new introductions, along with Makoto Mitsuta. But Vissel Kobe now have to throw caution to the wind. Clearly onside as well. That's the goal that put Al Sadd 2-1 up, of course. Not the latest strike from Firmino. He finally got the definitive decision on the offside call. Here come Vissel Kobe. They have to score the next goal if there is to be one. Sakai. Oh, mistake by Sakai. Sent forward by Surya. Maikawa outside his penalty area. Playing sweeper keeper. Two new introductions for Vissel Kobe, by the way. You won't be surprised to hear are both attack-minded players. Koto Mitsuta, who's on loan at the club from Gamba Osaka. John Patrick, another Brazilian from Bahia, who began life with Sao Paulo. Before arriving in Japan, firstly with Cerezo Osaka, before making the switch to Kobe. And here is John Patrick on the move. Breaks for Nagato. Paulo Otavio's header behind, and it'll be a Vissel Kobe corner. Well, this has been a Herculean effort from Al Sadd. After those 120 energy-sapping minutes against Al Hilal and the tension of penalties. 20 minutes to go. It's a poor corner. They're going to get another go, courtesy of Claudinho. Still just the one substitution made by Roberto Mancini. Ali just settling things down inside the penalty area ahead of the corner, which again is whipped in towards the near post and ends with the same outcome, a touch off Claudinho and another corner. Take three. More air to that one. Easily punched away though by Meshal Barsham. Showing his experience, 57 caps for his country. Sakai's latest cross in, and John Patrick at the back post. Got a clear sight of goal. Couldn't hit the target. Presentable opportunity that for Vissel Kobe. Some of Sakai's crosses have been right on the money this evening. Roberto Mancini looking just a little frazzled, but the scoreline very much in his team's favour. Yika fouled. Arm across the face of the Spaniard. Tejas Tula, the offender. Interesting career, Rafa Mujika won the UEFA Youth League with Barcelona B back in 2018. And then he went to Leeds United in England, but didn't manage to break through in a couple of years there. Went back to Portugal with Arouca, where he scored a lot of goals. Claudinho's free kick drops here for Akram Afif. And that's a goal kick. Mayuka then landed up at Vissel Kobe in 2024. He scored 43 goals now in 65 appearances for Al Sadd. Proved to be a very, very handy acquisition indeed. Vissel Kobe with nearly 60% possession, but really that matters little when you look at the stat that really matters. Ahead of Tarek Salman, John Patrick got a piece of it. Here he is again, through the legs, Ideguchi, that's one back for Vissel Kobe. Now we've got a game in our hands. Yosuke Ideguchi with another important goal, and Vissel Kobe have hope. Not too much reaction from Mikael Skubber on the sidelines, but they can start believing once more. And a lot of the credit here needs to go to John Patrick, who was probably second favourite there. Ideguchi with a sure finish. Initially, there might have been an offside against Mitsuta, but I think the touch off Tarek Salman sort of rules that out and brings in a different phase of play. And nothing wrong with that finish from Ideguchi. It's his third goal in this year's AFC Champions League Elite tournament. And it breathes new life into Vissel Kobe's campaign. VAR are having a look at this. I wonder if they are considering that offside against Mitsuta. Goal is confirmed. And this game is back on a knife edge with a quarter of an hour to go. And is that lactic acid going to be felt a bit more keenly now by the Al Sadd players? Rather aimless throws like that will help their cause. Well, 3 times Roberto Mancini's team trailed against Al Hilal. 3 times they came back. Tonight they've led 3 times. Vissel Kobe have struck back twice. Is history about to repeat in reverse, if you like? He's looking a little stressed on the sidelines, wasn't he, the Italian? Here's Paolo Ottavio. Akram Afif. Claudinho. Kuki. Saiz. And Akram Afif manages to hook the ball into the penalty area. Quite why Sakai let that ball bounce, I'm not quite sure. Back with Soria. Tarek Salman. A bit of keep ball just to take the sting out of this Vissel Kobe comeback. Might just be what the doctor ordered for Al Sadd, but Kobe hit that ball and it'll be a Vissel Kobe throw. There we go, that back leg of Tarek Salman playing Mitsuta onside. Ball did come off the defender in any case in the first instance. Nothing wrong with the finish from Ideguchi. Soria wanted the decision. Sad come away with the ball. Space here for Akram Afif. Paolo Ottavio still full of running on the left. He's been ignored. A little scoop over the top was not the right idea, and I tell you what, Paolo Ottavio has probably done well to not give his teammate a spray there, because that was a lung-bursting run. 60 metres or so from the fullback, and it was not rewarded. Ghulam Kuki is down for Al Sadd. Just having a breather. knockout football, particularly at this level, normally delivers some classic games. This one's been no different. Vissel Kobe seemingly out of it. Fighting for their lives here. Nagato's ball. Run out of play by Assako's frustrated with the pass. Karl Skubba urging more effort from his players. Roberto Mancini has still made just the one change. Karl Skubba perhaps pondering more from his bench. Mancini content for the moment with the 11 he's got on the pitch. 10 of them played every minute so far here in Jeddah. Here's Jean-Patrick. Just catching practice for Barsham. He's had an impact off the bench, played his part in the goal. Chested down by Nagato. Turn pass wasn't the best. Camara sends it forward. Firmino. Oh, and Akram Afif could have finished it off once and for all from close range. It was a mazy dribble by the Brazilian Firmino. Akram Afif got himself into a really good position at the near post and put his effort wide. And all that good work from Firmino was wasted. Another change for Vissel Kobe. Takehiro Ogihara takes his leave. There's the new man. Kento Hamasaki has just been introduced, still just 18 years of age. Going through the Vissel Kobe youth system. We are into the last 10 minutes in Jeddah. Sakai has also gone off. Kuto Hirose is his replacement, and we're going to see finally another change made by Al Sadd. Giovanni to replace the tiring Mohamed Kamara. Off goes the Mali international, on comes the Brazilian, signed from Palmeiras in 2023 for $9 million. Former Brazil under-20 international who played alongside the likes of Andre Santos, now with Chelsea at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup of 2023. Off the head of Yamakawa. Offside against Moyika. He's already got one hat-trick in this year's AFC Champions League Elite against Shabab Al-Akhli in the league stage. And chasing down another in what little time remains. Nagato's worked tirelessly down that left flank. Just drifts into the arms of Michel Barsham. Roberto Mancini, a very tough taskmaster. Few know the game of football as deeply as he does. His team are within touching distance of the last 4 spots, and the good news for them is that they'll have at least 4 days rest, as opposed to the 3 they got between the round of 16 and this one. If they go through to face one of either Al Ahly or FC Johor. Rather weary-looking free kick taken by Roman Saiz. Here's Hamasaki. He appeals to the referee, saying he was being held back by Agustin Soria. There was no whistle. Ball kept alive for Al Sadd. Yamakawa closed down by the ever-willing Moyika. Yamakawa. Wide right was Hirose. Down goes Muto. No whistle. Might be now. Hamasaki all over the back of Paulo Otavio, but Vissel Kobe are angered that they didn't get a free kick. There's just a little knee into the small of the back of Muto, which is a painful one. Accidental, maybe. Can see why Vissel Kobe thought they had a case for a free kick. Osako, just too slow. Barsham looking to take all the time he can. Vissel Kobe are appealing for the fact that Barsham took a touch and then picked the ball up. Firmino, Claudinho. It's running away from Giovanni. As tired as his players, Roberto Mancini. At least he's dispensed with the jacket on this sultry evening. Nagato. Mitsuta. It's the release for Hirose. Hamasaki, Sako, Ideguchi. Going to try their luck from long range here, and it's well wide at the end off the boot of Makoto Mitsuta. How many more opportunities will they be able to fashion in these closing minutes? Barsham's got a problem. There's the opening goal, scored by Rafa Moyika after just 6 minutes. The equaliser arriving on 24, courtesy of Yuya Osako. Vissel Kobe then hit the crossbar twice in the first half, but Al Sadd restoring their lead through Moyika's second, and then Roberto Firmino making it 3-1. Seemingly game over. Al Sadd had reckoned without Yosuke Ideguchi, who swept home a second goal for Vissel Kobe. And all that gives us this exciting finale with just a few minutes to run at the Prince Abdullah Stadium in Jeddah. Mitsuta. Itaguchi. Can they force extra time? Hirosa's cross, and Sako heads well over the top. Late change here. The goal scorer, or at least the scorer of two of Al Saad's goal, is going to take his leave. What a night he's had, Rafa Mojica, the Champions League elite's top goal scorer. About to take his leave and be replaced, and you won't be surprised to hear this, by a central defender in the shape of Ahmed Suhail. One job done, one little job still to do. It's Ahmed Suhail, who's actually born in Iraq and is the son of Suhail Saba, former Iraqi national team goalkeeper. Also got a brother, Rami, who plays in Qatar for Al Marqiya. About to find out from the fourth official how many minutes are going to be added on. Just the 3. It's all that separates Al Saad from a spot in the last 4. Still, he demands more effort. Vissel Kobe have got to go for it now. Hamasaki. Hirose. Through Yamakawa. Mateus Tula sent it wide left for Nagato. Can he find the right delivery? They were queuing up in there, almost too many of them for Vissel Kobe. He played almost a minute of added time. That's a really disappointing ball into the penalty area. Mikhail Skiba slumps down onto his knees. Will they get another opportunity? Roberto Mancini and his team are nearly there. What a night they've had. What a week they've had in Jeddah. Vissel Kobe are to overcome, as the banner suggests, then they're leaving it very, very late. Here's Jean-Patrick. Hamasaki. He played almost 2 minutes of the 3 additional. Hamasaki weaving his way through, getting the cross in. It's not away yet for Al Saad. That's a clever back heel by Claudinho. And Firmino showing all his experience as well to get Al Saad out of a spot of bother and take them up the field and waste more valuable seconds, of which there are now just 40 remaining. Entering last chance saloon territory for the J-League club. Hamasaki. Hirose needs a good cross into the near post. They've done it. Al Saad cannot believe it. They're involved in another 3-3 draw, and after having come from behind on 3 occasions against Al Hilal, they've let slip the lead on 3 occasions now against Vissel Kobe, and extra time looms in Jeddah. Absolutely extraordinary. It's Muto with the header at the near post. It involved Hamasaki in the build-up. Wide it went for Hirose. and nobody was able to track that run of Muto. And the veteran striker just nonchalantly nodded the ball past Barsham and into the net. And with merely seconds remaining, Vissel Kobe have forced extra time. The full-time whistle goes, and for the second time in the space of a week, Al Sadd will have to go the distance as it ends all square. Vissel Kobe might feel that hands them an advantage. Another half an hour to find a winner, and if they still can't be split, then a semi-final spot will be decided from the penalty spot. Muto's goal with the last attack of the game means it finishes all square in Jeddah. Roberto Mancini cannot believe it. Full-time scoreline, Al Sadd 3, Vissel Kobe 3. We go into extra time in Jeddah. Well, you've just seen the highlights of another quite extraordinary game here in Jeddah. Again involving Al Sadd. Second match in a row they've been involved in a 3-3 draw. They let slip a 3-1 lead in the final quarter of an hour. Now they must try and get some energy from somewhere out of their tired bodies to go again for another half an hour and possibly once more the drama-filled tension of penalties. That's for the future. For now, Vissel Kobe have made a change. At the end of the 90 minutes, Mateus Tuller, who was a big injury doubt going into this game, has been replaced by yet another Brazilian, Caetano, formerly with Corinthians. He'll slot into the J-League Apford's defence. And again, you sense that perhaps the pendulum has swung slightly towards Vissel Kobe. Not just because of the momentum of the game, but because of the dynamics and the fact that Al Sadd have played 120 minutes just 3 days ago. But we shall see. Here's Muto swinging the ball into the penalty. Oh, they were queuing up at the back post. Jean-Patrick and Asako. And in the end, neither was able to put the ball in the back of the net. Both were onside. Osaka couldn't reach it. Jean-Patrick put it over the top of the bar. Michel Barshams had some problems with his foot throughout the game. Requiring treatment on one occasion, but he's okay to take the goal kick. Could have been awkward for Rakuto Hirose, one of the substitutes, but timed his clearance well. It's Paulo Otavio. Orlan Kuki. Giovanni. Back through Tarek Salman. Left it short for Surya. It's a good turn by Osako. Hidaka. Muto. Hirose. Again, they're queuing up the Vissel Kobe players. Couldn't quite get the clean contact they needed. Vissel Kobe, the sprightlier of the two at the start of the first period of extra time. This is Jean-Patrick floating one in. It's over the head of Osako and claimed by Barsham. Claudinho gets the throw. Stony-faced Roberto Mancini. All his team had to do was defend that one last raid from Mikael Skipper's team. They couldn't quite achieve it. Quite remarkable sometimes how football goes. 2 3-3 draws in the space of 3 days. We're going to have a similar denouement here with penalties to follow. Yamakawa. Hamasaki. Back through the Vissel Kobe captain. There he is once again. Veteran of over 200 games. The colours of Ushi as their nicknames, the Cows, Vissel Kobe. Muto. Hidaka. Gets it back off Nagato. Mitsuta. Masaki going to unleash. Oh, goodness me, that was close. That was close. 1 or 2 on the far side. And Vissel Kobe colours jumped in the air as they saw the net bulge. But it was just the side netting. Another change for Al Sadd. Roman Saiz, who was unable to keep pace with Muto's run in the 93rd minute during regulation time, takes his leave. There is his replacement, Javaro Dilrosun, 27-year-old winger by trade, making just his 3rd appearance for the club since arriving from America in Mexico. 1 full cap for the Netherlands, but Dilrosun has made it known that he would like to switch his international allegiance to Suriname. They just look a little deflated at the moment, Al Sadd. They thought the job was done. They could really do without this extra half an hour. Roberto Mancini certainly making good use of his bench this evening, if he didn't 3 days ago. He's got some fresh legs out there now, the likes of Giovanni and Dilrosun. There's another one of the changes, Akbad Suhail. Mikhail Skipper's team has had the 2 best opportunities, 2 only opportunities really, of this first period of extra time. Jean Patrick's volley over the crossbar from close range, and Yamasaki's drive that went into the side netting. Here is Kento Hamasaki. Straight into Buildup Kuki. Hidaka. So, best ball of the night from Rikuto Hirose, who was the man who set up that late equaliser for Yoshinori Muto. With a peach of a cross. Hidaka got a man over on the left-hand side. Osako's found him in towards John Patrick. Off the boot of Nagato, and he just could not apply the finishing touch. And again, Al Sadd, a tiring Al Sadd, was stretched. An inch closer to John Patrick, and that surely would have been 4-3. That was close. He knows it. Barsham down again. This is the 3rd time the goalkeeper has required a stoppage. Maybe just trying to buy a bit of time for his team to take a breather. They've had to put so much into this week. Even the fans' chants are a little jaded, although they're keeping going. just like their representatives on the field. Some Kobe fans taking a breather themselves. Marsham good to go. Winner of the Asian Cup Golden Glove in the 2023 tournament, which he remembers fondly, of course, for his Golden Boot and hat-trick in the final against Jordan. Here's Muto. Saki's been very busy since coming off the bench. A neat and tidy player, predominantly left-footed, but it's a pretty good left peg. Jean-Patrick, Nagato. Cross. Came Ahmed Suhail. Right to the ball, probably to get the sweat off as much as anything off the pitch. Nagato's long launch. Yamakawa couldn't make contact. Here's Muto. Now Claudinho, and the counter-attack could be on here. Sprinting clear is Dilrosun. Vissel Kobe back in numbers now. Claudinho spreads the play. Nobody at the back post. Akram Afif will retrieve it though. Claudinho. Squared up for Tarek Salman. The ball in, it's a brilliant stop by Maikawa to deny Dilrosun. Al Sadd so close to retaking the lead. It was a really nice delivery. A cute header too from Dilrosun. And look at that from the goalkeeper. Dayan Maikawa has not had a lot to do in this first period of extra time, but that's a brilliant save. Corner taken short. Vissel Kobe caught napping. Claudinho's shot charged down. Well, Roberto Mancini's team maybe almost running on empty, but they have still got quality in the final third. Paulo Otavio with the throw. Tarek Salman having to turn and chase and retrieve. Gets it back off Giovanni. Afif didn't even bother running for that one. Here's Caetano. Mitsuta. Midfield for Hidaka. Kuto Hirose. And a bit of keep ball for Vissel Kobe. We're into the last minute of the first period of extra time. Room for Mitsuta to turn. And he is closed down by Kuki. Now that counter-attack could be sprung once again. Akram Afif needs a bit of help. Here's Giovanni, forced a bit wide. He'll get the corner though, off Nagato. Not the worst outcome for Al Sadd. Given that Afif had to wait for support to arrive. Could be the last attack of the first period of extra time, although there will be 1 minute to be added at the end of the opening 15. It's going to be Akram Afif with the corner kick for Al Sadd. 5 in the box. Out by Osako. Shot by Giovanni. Didn't amount to much. Nor does that off the boot of Claudinho. He's going to get one more chance, as is he, very shortly and very briefly, to make an impact. Be just a minute's break between the 2 periods of extra time. Is half-time in extra time, and we are still no nearer to knowing who will beat either Al Ahly or Johor in that semi-final on Monday. Mikhail Skibber's team with the 3 best opportunities, but at the other end, substitutes Javairo Dilrosun denied by a brilliant stop by Daya Maikawa. So, with 15 minutes to go and with penalties looming, half-time in extra time it remains. Al Sadd 3, Vissel Kobe 3. Well, the coaches have had their say. My German is pretty rudimentary, but I did listen in very briefly to Mikhail Skibber's words of motivation and inspiration, and if my reading of his script is correct, it's saying you've got to play, keep moving the ball around, slowly at first, then go quickly, try and move the tiring Al Sadd players out of position. Sounds good in theory, but the Vissel Kobe players will be tired too. We have 15 minutes to go in Jeddah, and after that, it's the lottery of penalties. Situation Al Sadd have been in once before already, earlier on in the week. Tight hamstrings now. Players starting to feel their calves, even coaches looking worn out on the sidelines. It's been a long evening in Jeddah. 3 times Al Sadd have taken the lead, 3 times they've been pegged back. A complete reversal of what happened against Al Hilal 3 days ago. Are we heading for a similar outcome and penalties? Here's Giovanni. Still some spring in his step. Fresh off the bench. The cutback's good. It's a great save again from Maikawa. This time to deny Akram Afif. Well, that's two big stops now. Here's Akram Afif again. Hits his own player. Rebounds in favour of Giovanni. He tries to curl it and it's just wide. Well, Al-Sad first to show in the second period of extra time. First Akram Afif denied by a really good save by Maikawa. And then Giovanni on the follow-up, putting his effort just wide of the post. And credit to the big goalkeeper, who was a big doubt for this game after that heavy collision with his teammate Mateus Tula in the league game against Nagoya Grampus at the weekend. Not only pass fit to play, but fit to make two really good saves in extra time. The referee had to think about that one, but ultimately decided it was a foul by Nagato on Giovanni. Goes by his first name, Katsuya, on the jersey, but I can assure you his surname is Nagato. I managed to get through the entire evening without a caution until this point. The yellow card has been shown, I think, to the reserve goalkeeper of Al-Sad, Yusuf Abdullah. Oh, it's Shuichi Gonda, my apologies. Reserve goalkeeper for Vissel Kobe. Shows that even with this much at stake and this much drama on the field, it could still be played in the right spirit. Just the one yellow card, and that to a player not even on the pitch. Here's Claudinho, Kuki, Akram Afif, skipping away from Muto. Claudinho. Wide right is Giovanni. The cross with the outside of the boot. Out of the air by Soria. Claudinho again. Giovanni. Al-Sad have found a second win from somewhere. Tariq Salman's cross palmed away by Maikawa. And again, Vissel Kobe was stretched. Couldn't allow that ball to go through. Al-Sad did have a player lurking at the back post. Soria, space for the Uruguayan. Top of the penalty area is Akram Afif. Here's Claudinho. He wanted one more pass. Inventive from Claudinho, but it's not quite paid off for Al-Sad. Where are they finding this energy from, Roberto Mancini's team? Quite extraordinary effort. Ten minutes to find a winner on the field. Then it's penalties. Here's Osako at the other end for Vissel Kobe. Hamasaki, Hirose's cross. Claudinho was there for Al-Sad. Kept in play by Soria. Akram Afif just caught in the ribs, it would appear, by his opponent. Saw one for the 29-year-old. A little more than a pullback, really, by Rikuto Hirose. been a great game to watch for the neutrals. Not sure the coaches would agree. Heart rate monitors going 10 to the dozen on the sidelines, no doubt. At least if we do go to penalties, well, both teams have had plenty of practice. Well, sad with that win over Al Hilal. Vissel Kobe with 3 penalty shootouts in the truncated J-League season, 2 of which they've lost, the last 2 incidentally, against the 2 clubs from Osaka, Cerezo and Gamba. Did manage to win one of them against Kyoto Sanga. Did incidentally win their last Champions League quarter-final in 2020 on penalties against Suwon Blue Wings of the Korean Republic. Here's Hamasaki. They could win it in normal time here. Turned behind though by Ahmed Suhail for a corner, as they appeal in vain for an offside flag that never came. Tight as to whether Hamasaki had strayed the wrong side of the defensive line. Corner kick is the verdict. Kuto Hirose to deliver the outswinger. Off the head of Claudinho for another go. In fact, it's Mitsuta, my apologies, to take the corners. In towards the near post. Breaks here for Hidaka, but right underneath it. Is there to be a final twist in this extraordinary game of football? Jean-Patrick, he's got the legs to get around Ahmed Suhail, 2-way to the middle. Handball is the claim. Pretty big shout as well by Muto against Paulo Otavio. We'll come back to that. Meantime, Al Sadd sweep upfield. Akram Afif. Firmino. Oh, good save again by Maikawa to deny Dilrosun. That's twice. He's seen efforts away from the substitute. He jigged inside and found the angle. That was heading into that bottom corner. And yet again, Maikawa on his mettle. It's 3 big saves in extra time. There's the handball appeal against Paulo Otavio at the other end. Appeals which fell on deaf ears. And Al Sadd still with the corner to come. Akram Afif to deliver. We're into the last 5 minutes in Jeddah. Top of the box is Claudinho. Have they wasted this opportunity? Al Sadd. Firmino. Socks starting to slip down the shins of the former Liverpool striker. In his quest for back-to-back Champions League elite winners' medals. Claudinho in no hurry to take the throw. It's going to be the long launch perhaps from Tariq Salman, or maybe not. Tariq Salman's cross though, off the head of Yamakawa, the Vissel Kobe captain. Jabbed forward into the space where Firmino was occupying, but good challenge again by Yamakawa. He's had a good game at the heart of the Vissel Kobe defence. Albeit one that has leaked 3 goals. Nagato for John Patrick. Rolled along the defensive line by Caetano. Here is Kento Hamasaki. Back through Yamakawa. Mitsuta. Nagato. Jean Patrick. Sarko, and they release John Patrick down the left. Is this the chance for Vissel Kobe? Well, they had plenty of runners in the box. Still might get an opportunity. Hamasaki. Yamakawa. It's a tired-looking cross from the captain. Looks increasingly like penalties will decide it. Will he stick with the same players that he went with against Al Hilal from the spot? All to be revealed in a couple of minutes, unless we get a late winner here. Even Mancini's volley looked a little tired. Back at his heyday, he would have killed that. Tarek Salman with what looked like a foul throw. Paulo Otavio. Last knockings here in Jeddah. Akram Afif with the ball into the box. Straight into the breadbasket of Daya Maikawa. He really has been Vissel Kobe's hero in extra time. 3 big saves. Denying Dilrosun twice. Akram Afif once. Jean Patrick. Vissel Kobe scored with the last attack of the game to send us into extra time. We're approaching that sort of period now in extra time. John Patrick knew he had to keep that ball alive because the last touch was off him. Mitsuta looking back post where Akram Afif was doing the defensive work for Al Sadd. Hamasaki. Jean Patrick arriving. And goal kick is the upshot. That is full time as we watch a replay of that last attack, which ended in an off-balance header from the Vissel Kobe substitute, Jean Patrick. The better chances in that second period of extra time as the medical team is called for to attend to Jean Patrick. Really went the way of Al Sadd. Remarkable, given they've played 120 minutes twice, but 3 big saves from Maikawa keeps Vissel Kobe in it. It finishes Al Sadd 3, Vissel Kobe 3 after extra time. Penalties will decide a spot in the semi-finals. Well, the drama of penalties to come after a fascinating 3-3 draw between Al Sadd and Vissel Kobe in this first quarter-final of the AFC Champions League Elite. Looks to me as though Al Sadd have won the toss and might go first in the shootout. That is in the gift, of course, of their captain Akram Afif. His opposite number, Tetsushi Yamakawa, is just having, in fact, explained to him that penalties were going to take place on the left side as you look at it on your TV screen. Maybe that's a decision that has been made pre-game, not quite sure. More guesswork on my part. What won't be guesswork, of course, is the work of the two goalkeepers. They will have done lots of preparation, make no mistake, for this sort of eventuality. And as mentioned previously, both have had plenty of practice recently. Al Sadd winning the shootout against Al Hilal in the round of 16 3 days ago. Rafa Mayika, who scored twice tonight and did convert one of those penalties in the shootout. Well, he won't be able to take one this evening because he's been replaced. Daya Maikawa made 3 big saves in extra time. Might not have played tonight due to that injury he sustained against Nagoya, but he won the J-League's Ironman Award last season for playing in every single game, and looks like that moniker, if you like, is well-founded. His father, Kazuya, was a Japanese international, as he is. Kazuya Maikawa won 17 caps. His son, Daya, has won just 2. And the first man he's going to face is probably the most famous face on the pitch tonight, Roberto Firmino, who did miss his penalty against Al Hilal. So let's see if he can put that right in the quarter-final against Vissel Kobe. It's been a night with many similarities to that game against Al Hilal 3 days ago. 3-3 scoreline, a team coming from 3 goals down. Here's Firmino with the first penalty. Well, he converts this time emphatically. Turns away in delight. 1-0 for Al Sadd in the penalty shootout. Sending Maikawa the wrong way, and it rippled the back of the net. Roberto Mancini's been in this position before, of course, with Italy in the final of the European Championships against England. He was successful on that occasion back in 2020. Now it's on Meshel Barsham for Al Sadd. He saved 3 penalties for Qatar against Uzbekistan in the quarter-final of the AFC Asian Cup in 2023. Let's see what he can do with this first one to be taken by Yuya Osako. Well, he got his hand to it, but it was too good. And it's 1-1. And Yuya Osako, no doubt, lets out a big sigh of relief. Pushed it onto the post. And the ball ends up in the back of the net. Utter frustration for Meshel Barsham. Up next for Al Sadd, Agustin Soria, a young Uruguayan, just 21 years of age. Up against Maikawa to make it 2-1 for Al Sadd. Hop, skip and a jump, and the keeper didn't really move. Good penalty. Although I can't help thinking that all this dancing around by players really does put the penalty odds heavily in their favour, as if it wasn't already. But it's within the rules so long as they maintain forward momentum. Keepers are rather more restricted, of course. Roberto Mancini can hardly look. It's Yoshinori Muto, very experienced player, the man who scored virtually with the last kick of the 90 minutes to send us into extra time, up against Barsham. And again, the goalkeeper went the right way, but again, the penalty was just too good. And it's 2-2. Well, he's guessed right twice, Barsham. And it's right in the corner. Odds really are against the goalkeeper. Next up is Claudinho for Al Sadd. He scored his penalty against Al Hilal 3 days ago. As did Soria, who's repeated the trick with the second penalty. This for 3-2. Oh, and Claudinho blazes it over the top of the crossbar. And it remains 2-2. And the advantage swings towards Mikael Skubbe's team in the penalty shootout. He went for power and it cleared the crossbar by quite some margin. Advantage Vissel Kobe. Up next is Mitsuki Hidaka, who's actually playing in this game, would you believe, with a broken toe that he sustained after coming off the bench against Nagoya Grampus at the weekend. Let's hope he's taking it with his stronger foot for Vissel Kobe's sake. It's Hidaka. And this time, Barsham goes the wrong way. And Vissel Kobe take the lead in the shootout, 3-2, with only 2 spot kicks remaining. And that means huge pressure now on Al Sadd's next taker, who is the vastly experienced Boalem Kuki, on the occasion of his 250th appearance for Al Sadd. The 35-year-old surely must score. It's Kuki, and he does score to bring it back to 3-3 and keep Al Sadd in this quarter-final. Really good penalty. But the advantage remains with the J-League team. And it's going to be the captain, I think, to take the responsibility. Is that right? We'll see in a moment. No, it's not. Captain went to pick the ball up. It's Nagato instead. Katsuya Nagato. This for 4-3. Straight down the middle, no problem. 4-3 for Vissel Kobe. And now Al Sadd must score to take it to the final kick in the shootout. They're nearly there, Mikael Skubbe's team. Akram Afif to take the 5th and final kick for Al Sadd, as he did against Al Hilal. He scored the winner 3 days ago from the spot. Boalem Kuki can only watch and pray. If Mayakawa pulls off the save, Vissel Kobe will be in the last 4. Scored a hat-trick of penalties in the AFC Asian Cup final for his country back in January 2024. This a kick equally as big for his club. A few words in prayer. It's Akram Afif, and he scores, and it will go to the final kick. It's 4-4, but if Vissel Kobe converts this fifth and final penalty, they will be in the semi-finals. There was a long pregnant pause, wasn't there, before Afif stroked the ball into the back of the net. And now Al-Sadd must offer prayers up to the gods and hope that their goalkeeper, Michel Barsham, can pull off a bit of a miracle here. Jean-Patrick to take the crucial kick. This for a spot in the last four of Asia's top club competition. It's Jean-Patrick, it's there, it's Vissel Kobe's night. They win it on penalties and are into the semi-finals of Asia's top club competition for just the second time in their history. What a topsy-turvy evening we've had in Jeddah. Al-Sadd could not repeat their heroics of 72 hours ago and miss out as they did against Japanese opposition at this stage last year. Al-Ahli or Johor await Vissel Kobe now in the last four. It finishes Al-Sadd 3, Vissel Kobe 3 after extra time, but it's Vissel Kobe who win through 5-4 on penalties. Well, a night of tension and drama, of twists and turns. Al-Sadd, who came from behind 3 times against Al Hilal here in Jeddah 3 days ago. This time we're pegged back 3 times, and what about that for a penalty to win it from Jean-Patrick? Right up where the Spiders live. A brilliant penalty. And Al-Sadd were sunk where they had joy from the spot 3 days ago. It is misery for the Qataris from the penalty spot here this evening. Roberto Mancini turns away in disappointment. It's Mikael Skubber's team who are through to the last 4. Big night for Vissel Kobe. They will meet Al-Ahli or Johor in the semi-finals.